The Buddha once said, "Nothing exists entirely alone. Everything is connected to everything else." It's a simple truth, but easy to forget, especially when life gets hard. You lose your job, a relationship ends, plans fall apart, and naturally, you ask, why is this happening to me? Most people believe they're victims of bad luck or fate. It feels random, unfair, out of your control. But Buddhism offers a different perspective. Nothing happens without a reason. Life unfolds based on karma, the law of cause and effect, and the nature of impermanence. Your past actions, words, and even thoughts shape your present reality. And because everything is connected, your struggles aren't isolated events. They're part of a bigger web of life, constantly shifting and evolving. Understanding this doesn't erase the pain, but it helps you stop blaming fate and start seeing the deeper meaning behind what life brings your way. In Buddhism, nothing happens by accident. Every event in your life, good or bad, is the result of karma, the law of cause and effect. Your past actions, thoughts, and intentions shape your present, and what you choose now will create your future. There's a famous Buddhist story that explains this clearly. A young monk once told his master, "Life feels unfair. Good people suffer. Bad people seem to win." The master handed him a delicate porcelain cup and asked, "Do you like this cup?" The monk nodded. "It's beautiful." Without hesitation, the master let the cup fall. It shattered on the floor. The monk was shocked, but the master calmly replied, "I loved the cup when it was whole, and I love it now that it's broken, because from the moment I held it, I knew one day it would break." Nothing lasts forever. When you understand that, you stop resisting life, and you suffer less. Everything unfolds as part of a bigger pattern, and learning to accept that truth brings peace. One of the simplest, yet hardest, truths in life is this: everything changes. The seasons change, rivers keep flowing, even the tallest mountains wear down over time. Nothing stays the same forever. Not your happiness, not your pain. That's why in Buddhism, impermanence is seen as the basic nature of life. Your struggles, no matter how heavy they feel today, will pass. And often that pain becomes your greatest source of wisdom later. The Buddha once said, "Storms always pass. It's clinging that creates suffering." When you resist change, you suffer. When you try to hold on to what's meant to evolve, you feel pain. But when you accept impermanence, when you truly see that everything rises and fades, you find peace, even in uncertainty. Because life, like the river, keeps moving, and your peace comes from flowing with it, not fighting against it. If you've been following this far, you already know life constantly changes, and holding on only creates suffering. But here's something most people overlook. Suffering itself isn't a punishment, it's a teacher. Think about this. Both coal and diamonds come from the same source, but only the diamond forms under intense pressure. It's the same with your life. The challenges you face, the failures, heartbreaks, disappointments, they're not there to destroy you, they're shaping you. Without difficulty, you don't build patience. You don't discover your strength. You don't grow. Sometimes it takes time to see the lesson hidden inside the pain. But when you look back, you often realize the hardest moments made you who you are. The Buddha never promised an easy life, but he did remind you, suffering is part of the path that sharpens your wisdom, your resilience, and your understanding. And with that mindset, every challenge becomes part of your transformation, not your downfall. Here's something to remember. Not every setback is what it seems. Sometimes what feels like failure is actually life redirecting you towards something better. There's a simple story to explain this. Imagine a traveler lost in the desert, exhausted, frustrated, feeling like everything has gone wrong. He stops to rest under a small tree, blaming himself for getting off track. But just beyond the next hill, a violent sandstorm rages. Had he kept walking, he would have been caught in the storm. What looked like a mistake was actually protection. It works the same way in life. Losing a job, facing heartbreak, missing an opportunity. In the moment, it feels unfair. But often, those moments push you toward new doors you never saw coming. The Buddha said it simply, when the wrong door closes, the right one opens. Trust that sometimes the detour is the blessing. Here's a hard truth. The more you try to control life, the more frustrated and exhausted you feel. We all want to control outcomes, to make sure things go exactly the way we plan. But life doesn't work like that. The Buddha taught that clinging to people, results, or the future only creates suffering. There's a famous Zen saying, "Let go or be dragged." It sounds simple, but how often do you resist the natural flow of life? You fight change, you fear uncertainty, and the harder you resist, the more life drags you along anyway, often painfully. But when you let go, not out of weakness but out of wisdom, something shifts. You stop fighting reality, and peace starts to take its place. With patience and acceptance, life's meaning slowly reveals itself. Not on your timeline, but when you're truly ready to see it. Here's the truth. Every challenge you face is part of your growth. But instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking a different question. What lesson is hidden inside this moment? Could this setback actually be an opportunity in disguise? Can I trust that this too will pass? When you stop resisting life, when you see the bigger picture of impermanence, karma, and inner growth, everything starts to shift. You realize life isn't happening to punish you. It's happening to shape you. And every experience, even the painful ones, carries a reason, guiding you toward peace, wisdom, and awakening. The Buddha never promised life without storms, but he did remind you, with the right mindset, even the storm becomes your greatest teacher. So take a breath, trust the journey, and remember, you are exactly where you need to be. If this message of peace and mindfulness has touched your heart, don't let it stop here. Please, support this journey by hitting the like button, sharing this video with someone who needs calm and wisdom today, and subscribing to our channel for more teachings of compassion and enlightenment. Together, let's spread the light of the Dharma to every corner of the world. Thank you for walking this path with us.